his pectoral fin. Daria Albinger, ABC News, New York.
This is ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
High pressure in control will keep us nice and dry, but it's also going to prompt warmer conditions to move in for this afternoon and tomorrow. Today, we're going to see temperatures top in the low to mid 60s. As we head into tonight, we'll fall into the low to mid 40s. It's not going to be as chilly as it was last night. Tomorrow's going to be a warmer one with highs in the upper 60s and mid 70s. The next front will arrive late Thursday, bringing showers. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And everyone wants to know about the weekend. Well, the weekend's looking absolutely gorgeous here in the foothills. Going to have nice weather on Saturday, partly cloudy with highs around 52, dropping back to 30 at night. Then on Sunday, 57 and lows around 37, and possibility of some light rain showers on Sunday night, early Monday morning. But other than that, it's going to be a beautiful week, I think, here in the neighborhood. And I'm glad you're up and at 'em and ready to go for it. 6 minutes after 7, I have these death announcements. Clyde Vickers, age 83 of Forest City, died Sunday, November the 14th at Fairhaven of Forest City. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Thursday, November the 18th at Second Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the Cool Springs Cemetery with military honors accorded by the Rutherford County Veterans Honor Guard. The family will receive friends from 1:30 until 2:45 on Thursday in the sanctuary at Second Baptist Church. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Clyde Vickers. Cathay Dean McCurry, 70 of Golden Valley, died Saturday at Adriam Health Shelby. A memorial service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday, November the 20th at Golden Valley Church. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Cathay Dean McCurry. Gilbert Carl Mays, age 100. Age 100 of Forest City, passed away Friday, November the 5th at his residence. A memorial service will be held at a later date. The cremated remains of Gil and Carlene will be interred privately in Weaverville, North Carolina. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Gil Mays. Linda Earp Harris, 76 of Cliffside, died Saturday, November 13th. A graveside service will be held 11 o'clock Thursday, November the 18th, in the Pleasant Grove United Methodist Church Cemetery. The family will greet friends following the service at the cemetery. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory serving the family of Linda Earp Harris. Brian Franklin Robinson, 42 of Spartanburg, passed away on November the 10th. A celebration of life will be held at Crow's Mortuary in Rutherfordton, November the 18th from 5 until 7. Please consider wearing green in honor of his favorite color. Again, that's Brian Franklin Robinson. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Brian Franklin Robinson. Barbara Ann Cash, age 61 of Church Street, died Wednesday, November the 10th, following an extended illness. A gathering of family and friends will celebrate Barbara's life will be held at 3 until 4 o'clock Saturday, November the 20th at Crow's Mortuary in Rutherfordton. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Barbara Cash. Ada Bell Akers Lemaster, age 87 of Spartanburg, died Wednesday at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. Spartanburg Regional Hospice Home after a brief illness. The family respectfully requests that memorials be made to Epworth Children's Home, Post Office Box 5466, Columbia, South Carolina, and the Paget and King Mortuary is in charge of the arrangements for Adabelle Acres Lamasser. Jason Allen Bovee, age 46, of White Bluff, Tennessee, passed away on November the 9th. No services will be held, and Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Jason Allen Bovee. Jerry Lee Akers, age 72, of Mooresboro, died Friday, November 12th, at Atrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. The family will have a private service to celebrate his life, and the Pageant A King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of those arrangements for Jerry Lee Akers.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer steady monthly payouts plus double-digit annualized returns. As 15-year industry leaders, they've seen it all. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy, 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
On this Tuesday, permit me to indulge in a little frivolous pursuit. As Dennis Miller once said, I need a day off from some people. Don't we all? The Kardashians. Just one day off. I know I won't get it. I don't understand Kim, Kendall, Hortense, whoever. Why are they in the media every hour on the hour? There seem to be giant basketball players and rich rappers surrounding them, but I don't really know. What I do know is I need a day. Snoop Dogg. Why is this man sitting on a beach alone in his pajamas drinking beer? Who says, yeah, that's what I want to do? Well, maybe a few people. Britney Spears, not since Gettysburg has an emancipation received so much attention. To celebrate her economic freedom, she poses nearly in the buff every day, and the pics are instantly posted on social media. Not sure if that's a noble career goal. Am sure I need a day off from it. Maybe 365 days. The State Farm guy. He's everywhere, hanging out with the swells. I just need backup in case my house burns down. Why must I witness an insurance agent cracking wise with pre-COVID Aaron Rodgers? There's another one. He hosted Jeopardy and then demanded the Packers trade him to Jeopardy? I got to get away from these people. It's just too much. Now this. Car repairs often feel like a lose-lose situation. The expensive payments and paperwork feel never-ending. But ever since I called Car Shield, that all gets handled for me. That's a win-win. I just select my favorite mechanic, and Car Shield's administrators do the rest. So get coverage today, and you'll see why Car Shield cars go farther. Please visit carshield.com/bill to save 10%. A deductible may apply. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, this is Jones Angel, voice of the Tar Heels, and you are listening to the sports station for the Foothills, WCAB in Rutherfordton.
WCAB.
Born in Tennessee at the age of 21, Joseph Walker traveled with some trappers to New Mexico, at that time owned by Spain. The Spanish arrested the trappers and later released them after they promised to help Spain fight the Indians. In 1831, Walker got a chance to be a partner with Benjamin Bonneville as they established a trapping company in the West. Taking a party to California, Walker established a trail used 18 years later by the 49ers seeking gold. Walker also took his men over the Sierra Nevada, and on November 13, 1833, they came across the giant sequoias of Yosemite Valley. After spending the winter on the coast of California, they returned with a wealth of geographic information. When Bonneville returned to the States, Walker remained in the West, trapping and exploring the Rockies. With his knowledge of California, Walker assisted General Fremont in his second and third expeditions. Desiring to settle down for a while, he established a sheep ranch in California. But ever the adventurer, in 1861 he organized a group of men to explore Arizona. While exploring central Arizona, he discovered gold in the area, establishing Walker's Diggings, a settlement that was later to be the Arizona Territory's first capital, Prescott. At the age of 69, Joseph Walker tired of his explorations and returned to California to spend the rest of his days, dying on November 13, 1872, 39 years to the date after discovering Yosemite Valley. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James has added 2 new sandwiches to his already delightful menu, along with the fresh-cooked burgers, sandwiches, fresh salads, hot dogs made to order. Now try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Both come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton, or call 828-447-4644. And Mondays only, hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
All right, let's get started with our Tuesday morning call-around news report, get you informed this morning. 7:16. Let's go first to the Sheriff's Department, and we have the Sheriff on the phone. Sheriff Chris Francis, good morning.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. Hope you're doing well this morning.
I am doing great, feeling good. I'm glad we have another day to look forward to.
It is a blessing, but I will say it was brisk out there this morning.
It was indeed. I hastened quickly to get in the car and turn the heater on.
No doubt, no doubt.
What's been going on?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 147 calls of service. There have been 9 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 174. Among those arrested, Travis Dale Proctor, 40-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Brandon Scott Hutchins, 39-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with maintaining a place for controlled substance, trafficking meth, and reckless driving. He received a $250,000 bond after deputies located 1 pound, 19 ounces of meth after they were involved in a short chase with him yesterday, and he has been convicted of trafficking twice before. Also arrested was Daniel Roy Lefford, 52-year-old male of Ruston, charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Cherokee Julie McCauley, 29-year-old female of Forest City, was charged to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Nathan Artuga Martinez, 26-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $2,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny on US 64. There was a propane tank that was 4 foot by 8 inches, valued at $400, gray in color, containing 100 pounds of propane that was taken. We also had a larceny on Bayville Road there in Forest City. There was 4 firearms, 1 pistol and 3 rifles, totaled value of $900 that was taken. We had a larceny of a motor vehicle, Newton Cole Road. It was a 2012 Ford Fusion, silver in color. This apparently had been missing since 11/13, was reported yesterday, and last night after having entered NCIC, it was located in Clinton, Mississippi. I believe that a worker that was assisting someone hired for the victim's residence doing some work there at the house possibly has taken this vehicle, but it was located in Clinton, Mississippi last night. We received word from investigators there. Jim, that's what we had to report.
All right, Sheriff, thank you very much for that report. I hope you have a good day and be safe out there.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
And we'll find out from 911 Communications Center in just a moment the calls they've received overnight. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
'Twas the time of the holidays, and all through the house were to-do notes left by my loving spouse. The lights weren't hung, which she found problematic. They were still in a box somewhere in the attic. Then home from the store, my wife did appear. North Carolina Education Lottery scratch-offs in hand, and I started to cheer. 6 holiday scratch-offs to choose. What fun. I flew through my list, and now I'm done. This holiday season need not be a chore, because holiday scratch-offs are the gift that could be so much more. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 2.95 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Amanda's up next over at 911 Communications Center with our morning report. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center processed 403 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 63 for the emergency medical services, 147 for the Sheriff's Office, 69 for Forest City, 4 for Lake Lure, 46 for Rutherford, and 44 for Spindale. Ellenboro Fire Department had an appliance fire and an investigation, and Union Mills had a brush fire. That is all.
Thanks so much. You have a great day now.
You too.
Bye. Well, 4 people were critically injured early Sunday morning in a single car crash that was fleeing law enforcement at an estimated speed of 100 miles per hour in Spindale. 3 of the 4 were ejected from the wreckage, 2 needing to be airlifted to Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. The other 2 occupants were taken to the hospital by ambulance, according to Trooper Joshua Henderson of the Highway Patrol. The 5 a.m. crash on Forest Ford Road near Oakland Road involved a 2006 Chevrolet Impala. The driver of the car ran off the roadway and struck a utility pole. On Monday, Henderson declined to identify the driver and the other wreck victims, all reportedly from Shelby, pending further investigation. Prior to the crash, the driver of the Impala refused to heed a traffic stop in Polk County, instead opting to flee authorities, which led to a high-speed chase. The chase ended when the car crashed in Rutherford County, and it ended up poorly. And here's Ruby Taylor with the Danieltown SDO report this morning. Hi, Ruby.
Hi.
What's on the report today?
Well, they were quiet. And on my birthday calendar today, I've got Ernestine Davis having birthdays, and I hope she has a real nice day. And signs are in the neck today and tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks so much, Ruby. Have a good day.
You too.
You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled A-R-Y-E-E. Our friend Gary Wilson is on the phone from up Fairfield Mountains Fire District up that way in the mountains. He's on the phone right now. Gary, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jim. How you doing?
Doing well. Glad it's another Tuesday. It's getting close to the weekend.
Yep, about to get here. Be hump day tomorrow, so we're getting closer then.
You realize half of the month's already gone today?
I can't believe how this year flew by. It's almost Thanksgiving right now. I can't believe it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Must be getting a little bit older, I guess. I don't know.
Anyway, we can slow this thing down and not so the years won't move so fast.
Better hurry up and figure out a way to do it if we're going to, because we're already past 70. So I am anyway. You're a young man still.
Well, thank you, Gary. We're running out of time, though, aren't we?
Yeah, we better hurry up and figure out a way to do it. So we got a quiet night up here with Bill Creek and Fairfield boats. It's quiet all night and peaceful right now this time of year. And cool start this morning, about 35 degrees. And it's going to get nice today. They're going to get up in the 60s and maybe 70 tomorrow. And So that's not bad. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else up here is humming right along. Pretty quiet time of the year right now.
All right, Gary, thanks so much for being there for us, and we'll look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.
All right, talk to you then.
Thanks. 724, and we have 33 degrees.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
And Andrew will be on this morning a little after 8 o'clock with his normal weekly radio program, talk more about making sense of our financing. So tune Andrew in 8:05 this morning. Right now we're going over to Bostic, North Carolina. DeVern Upton's on the phone to give us the news from there. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am feeling mighty fine. How are things over there?
It's very cold over here this morning. We have 35 degrees. The fire department had a medical call and had to set up a landing zone, and they also assisted Ellenburg with a structure fire.
Busy.
Busy.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they were able to get out and do that. That's people who dedicate themselves to that kind of thing do a great service for us.
You're exactly right.
All right. Anything else?
That'll be it today.
All right, DeVern. Thank you so much. You have a good day over there.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Basketball action this evening, UNC versus Charleston. That's a 7 o'clock countdown, 7:30 pregame and 8:30 tip-off. An hour and a half before they tip off after they start talking about it. But we'll have all that tonight, UNC and Charleston basketball action here on WCAB. All right, let's check in now up at Hudlow Fire District. That's where our friend Bob Hodge stays and keeps his eye on things for us. Bob, how you doing this morning?
We're doing just fine up here on this Tuesday morning. Looks like the sun's coming up bright, and we'll have another pretty day.
I believe so. Probably another beautiful sunset. Did you see that one the other day, yesterday maybe? Was it yesterday or the day before? Sunset is absolutely beautiful.
Yes, and shining against the leaves on the trees. It looked like a fire or something there.
I know it,
through
yeah.
the woods there. We're having some beautiful sunrise and sunsets here. So
we are indeed.
But look like the day's going to be a pretty day, and tomorrow for it, another cold front comes, gets cold again there. But let's get out and enjoy these pretty days there. I had to cut a tree in the yard, old maple tree. It has dead limbs on it, and I get scared it's going to fall on one of our cars or something there. So I got it cut down, been cleaning it up. It don't take long to cut one down, but clean it up, it takes forever.
That's right. Yeah, that is a tiring job too, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Sawing them old limbs up and hauling them up and piling them and all that. But we're getting it cleaned up there.
Did you get Imogene to help you a little bit?
Well, she gets a broom or rake and rakes there, but
She's probably
she tries.
She's probably inside cooking you some warm cookies you can have after you get all that hard work in.
Oh yeah, she's in the house cooking for me while I'm doing that. There. She's got to feed me to keep me going.
I hear you.
Yeah, just like buying gas, you got to put food in you. You got to keep going.
Keep going. That's right.
Well, Jim, with the fire department, we've answered one medical call. Hadn't had any fire wreck calls, so everything else is going along good up here. So you take care and have a good day.
Thanks, Bob. Hope you do too, and don't overdo it. And I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, let's see what's been going on over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District, and Sue Price can tell us all about it. She's on the phone with me right now. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Well, good. Nice morning over here. It's cool, but it's pretty. And let's see, I didn't have any calls from the fire department, so I reckon they've been quiet. That's a good thing. And don't have any. Well, I have one anniversary on my church calendar for Bart and Betty Shaw, so I hope they'll have a good day. And nothing on my personal calendar today. And Fairview has a birthday for Russell Yelton. I hope little Russell's going to have a good day. And nothing on First Broads for today, so not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And I don't have any announcement that had anything come in, so it's just quiet and calm over here. We had a good crowd at our community club meeting last night. Had a good meal and good friendly talks, and just had a good time.
Good.
So we enjoyed going out. It's good to get out once in a while.
Oh, yes.
Oh, goodness. We should shut up so much. But anyway, we have a chance to get out once in a while. And I guess that's all I got this morning, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks, Sue. Appreciate you keeping your eye on things for us, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow morning.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 7:32 Tar Heel basketball this evening against Charleston. 7 o'clock countdown. Countdown starts at 7 o'clock. Tip-off is at 8:30.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
The best in the classic oldie music can be heard here also after 9:30 this morning until 11:30. Some of the classic oldies are songs you remember growing up, dating, and going to high school or early college, and you'll enjoy the music. Let's go over to the drop-in now and see if we can find some breakfast. And Gene's on the phone to give us all the news from over there. Gene, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing this cold morning?
Man, I tell you, I'm trying to stay warm. How about you?
I've been trying to stay warm all night. Well, they got biscuits and gravy and country ham. coffee brewed. And eggs. Just got it going on over here.
I've heard that country ham y'all serve over there is really good.
Yeah, it is. It's Daniel Boone.
Yeah, I've heard it's good.
Yeah, we got ground chuck on sale. Today's last day of it. So they can come on by and pick up some ground chuck to take a look at the rest of the meat and enjoy supposed to have a warm day today, so that'll be good.
Hours are back to normal now.
Pardon?
Your hours are back to normal, back to as they used to be?
Let me check with Jess.
Okay.
Yes, hours back to normal. Hours back to normal. Yes, sir, Jim. The hours are back to normal.
Good. I know folks appreciate that, and it's always a pleasure to do some shopping over there. I've heard folks brag about you guys all the time.
Yeah, we try to take real good care of our customers this day and age. You got them, you need to take care of them.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I appreciate you talking with us, and keep that good breakfast going, that good meat selling over there, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Okay, Jim. You have a great day.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
And it's always a pleasure to go by there and have a biscuit or have some chicken. Their chicken's outstandingly good. I was in a meeting the other night, and the folks had ordered the chicken from the Drop-In Family Mart there in Bustic, and it was really good and tender. And I know you'll like it too if you're preparing a meal for guests coming in. Talk to them about getting your chicken fixed for you. 7:35, and we'll get to our next phone call right after this. The Grace of God Rescue Mission in Forest City is again providing a hot, delicious meal and friendship Thanksgiving Day for those who need it. This free meal is a ministry outreach from Terry Hageman and his team at Grace of God Rescue Mission. If you know someone who needs a good hot meal and good fellowship, invite them to the mission on West Main Street, Forest City at 11 o'clock Thanksgiving Day. Remember the date and time for this meal, Thanksgiving Day at 11 o'clock for those who need our love and friendship. For just $5, you can provide one of these dinners or one of the more than 52,000 meals that will be served next year. Hungry, hurting, and homeless people need our help. Whatever you can give, it will be appreciated. Mail your gift to the Grace of God Rescue Mission, Post Office Box 212, Forest City 28043. It is tax deductible, and your dollars go a long way to help those who need it. For more information, go to www.thegraceofgodrescuemission.org. On behalf of the volunteers at the Grace of God Rescue Mission, Main Street, Forest City, thank you. I'm glad there's a place like the Grace of God Rescue Mission in our county. They do such a wonderful job. Terry Hageman and his team over there do such a fantastic job. And most of us with jobs can't do the kind of thing they do to help people, but we can support them financially and volunteer to serve there as well. So let's get behind the Grace of God Rescue Mission this season and help with those folks who are hungry and need some things. And many of them need a lot of things. So help out all you can. 7:37 now. We're going up to Shingle Hollow, and that's where Tina White is this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It is a chilly morning up here in Shingle Hollow at 34 degrees.
Well,
what was the temperature down there?
33.
33. So you're
pretty close.
A degree left.
Yep, pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is still beautiful up here, and it's calm and quiet. The fire departments were all quiet. Feel like getting out and riding around and looking at leaves. This is the time to do it. But they're falling, but man, they're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
White House Community Clubhouse is having a turkey shoot every Saturday at 11 between now and Christmas. Invites everyone to come out and enjoy that. This Saturday, they are also having a bake sale and a vendor sale. It starts at 10 a.m. there at White House Community Clubhouse. And Pleasant Grove Baptist Church is having a community Thanksgiving Wednesday the 24th. They'll have a service, bring a message, and then some snacks afterwards at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, November 24th. And birthdays today, Piney Knob's calendar has Miss Lisa Brown and Miss Missy Brown-Lell. I hope those ladies have a wonderful birthday. And on my personal calendar, I have Mr. Curtis Towery. If anybody knows Curtis, if you will, call him and tell him happy birthday. That's all we've got this morning going on. It's calm and quiet and cool.
Well, keep up the good work.
Yes. I'll try. I'll be out here trying to keep everything calm, quiet, and cool.
Okay. Thanks, Tina. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow Fire District. It's 7:39. My guest coming up at 8:30 this morning is Pastor Chris Fox. He'll be here to talk about an event coming up I'll let you know more about, and he'll be here to explain all that. So tune in 8:30 this morning for Pastor Chris Fox to talk with us. Coming up, our next report is all the way from Ellenboro.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Let's check out Luther Gilligan this morning, see if he's looks well enough to go out in public today. Luther, are you okay?
Big mask on and goes out.
Maybe that'd be a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. But it's a good day down here. We're going to have a good time today. It's going to warm up a little bit. The sun's going to shine. It's going to be a nice day down here. Coffee's good. The biscuits are good. And yeah, we're just having a good time. But it's quiet. Not a whole lot going on this morning. Everybody getting ready to get on to work. Fire department only had one call. They had appliance fire last night over Oakville Road. And appreciate Forest City, Boston, and Sherman coming out, but didn't need them. Just a minor thing. Took care of it. Canceled them. Took care of the problem. Went on back home. Everything was good. But nothing else going on there. Maybe we're going to have something going on down here Saturday. Big Bluegrass Critters Convention Saturday. Doors open at 5. Music starts at 6. That'll be out here at the new elementary school out here on Pine Mountain Road. So everyone's invited to come on out and have a good time there. And Jim, nothing else going on down here, so you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
That's going to be some good picking and grinning over there on Saturday, you know what?
It will be some good old toe tapping, hand clapping music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, take care now.
Bye. That's the Ellenboro reporter, Luther Gilligan, off and running to the next cup of coffee. Now it's time for birthdays and anniversaries for the 16th of November, November 16th, 2021. We hope you'll let us know about your birthday and call that in to us and let us celebrate with you and give you a big shout-out. Phone number to call is 287-3356. We've cleared the phone lines for you to get in. 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up next.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Well, Granny B's open over there this morning for breakfast. They open now early for breakfast, and you can enjoy yourself with the way you want your eggs, the way you want them with sausage, maybe a little liver mush, or whatever you want your eggs to be done, like scrambled or sunny side up, or they'll fix it any way you like it. But the breakfast is really getting rave reviews, and they do that Tuesday through Saturday mornings. So have breakfast. If you haven't already had that, stop in over there and see what it's like and report back to me about how good that breakfast is at Granny B's there in Spindale. It's always a pleasure to eat with good folks there at Granny B's. And when you need your clothes cleaned, freshened up, take them by Folks Cleaners. They do a great job, laundry and dry cleaning. And you can pull up to beside the building there, hand them into the ladies there through the door. They'll fix you right up, and they'll have them back in a couple of days. Good service, good folks to do business with. That's Folks Cleaners. Anytime you want to freshen up looking a whole lot better with your clothes looking good, that's the place to do it. Folks Cleaners there in the Rockwood Plaza.
Happy birthday.
Nobody locally sharing their birthday with us today, but we do have Jim Jordan. He's an actor, comedian, Fibber McGee, and he was born in 1896. 1907, Burgess Meredith was an actor. He was born in 1907. He died in 1997. 1916, Davis Butler? Dawes Butler voiced Yogi Bear in Huckleberry Hound. How about that? He died in 1988. Events today include 1801, first edition of the New York Evening Post. 1824, New York City's Fifth Avenue opens for business. So now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB. Coming up, Keys to Confident Living. Top of the hour, Andrew Tisdale will be here. And then at the bottom of the hour, we have Pastor Chris Fox in to talk about something I want you to know more about all straight ahead here on the Morning Wake Up Call.
January 30, 1994, Thurman Thomas sat on the bench of the Buffalo Bills with his hands covering his face. The Bills had just lost the Super Bowl for the fourth straight time, and Thomas's 3 fumbles had not helped their cause. Sensing someone standing near him, Thomas looked up to see Emmitt Smith, star running back for the Dallas Cowboys, standing in front of him. What would the man who had just been named the Super Bowl's most valuable player be doing on the loser's side of the field? But there he was, holding his goddaughter in his arms. As they looked at Thomas, Smith said to the little girl, "I want you to meet the greatest running back in the NFL, Mr. Thurman Thomas." This was not a put-down or an attempt to rub salt into an opened wound. Here was the concern for a fellow human being and a gesture of humility. The Bible describes humility as a virtue. In several places, the Apostle Paul says to honor one another above ourselves. That sounds almost unthinkable in today's dog-eat-dog society. It sounds strange, doesn't it? We hear so much about how to rise to the top that humility has almost been dropped from our vocabulary. The Bible is so bold at another point to suggest that we are not to be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position and not to be conceited. And Jesus reminds us that the meek shall inherit the earth. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
Good morning. Good morning.
of using them as pawns in his dispute over sanctions to create a crisis on Europe's doorstep.
Severe flooding in the Pacific Northwest. Hundreds have been forced to evacuate their homes. 300 in British Columbia had to be rescued because of mudslides. For the second consecutive week, pediatric COVID cases are on the rise. Dr. Yvonne Maldonado is a professor of pediatrics at Stanford.
Really, only about 50% of children who are eligible for the vaccine, 12 to 17, are actually vaccinated. So there's still a lot more children that need to be vaccinated. The numbers of vaccinated children are dropping, so we need to do a better job of getting them protected.
Across the country, COVID cases are up 20% overall. Closing arguments in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial took 6 hours on Monday. The defense says the 18-year-old was defending himself. The prosecution says he was an armed vigilante when he killed 2 people during anti-police protests in Kenosha last year. This is ABC News.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it time for open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For the typical family, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. Think what you could do with that. But if you join right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fee, so that's another $170 you'll save. And MediShare is really different. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills. More than 400,000 people are members, and they've shared over $4 billion in medical bills. So, yes, they can handle your bills too. This may be the time to make the switch. Join before November 30th for the additional savings. It's so easy to find out more. They're great to talk to. In fact, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
A dad being remembered as a hero after his 11-year-old daughter was the only person to survive a small plane crash. Mike Perdue, his daughter Lainey, and 2 other people were aboard a plane that crashed Saturday in Michigan. Lainey's mother, Christy, tells ABC News her husband may have saved the girl's life by hugging her as the plane went down.
Her last memory is that Dad just grabbed her and held her really, really tight. And in my heart, I know that it protected her.
Dozens of countries around the world may soon be able to get access to Pfizer's upcoming pill that can treat coronavirus infections. ABC's Derek Dennis.
About 95 low and middle income countries, making up 53% of the world's population, could soon get access to Pfizer's COVID pill under a new plan. The company announcing it will grant sublicenses to qualified drug makers to manufacture its COVID pill for developing or disenfranchised countries worldwide. Regulatory approval in those countries will still be needed, just like in the U.S., where Pfizer's COVID pill is not yet authorized. And Pfizer won't profit off the sublicenses as long as COVID is still a World Health Organization public health emergency. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
The computer chip shortage could make for a bit of a chillier ride in some new cars this winter. General Motors says without the chips it needs, it'll now have to remove heated seats as a standard option on many of its new models. Ugh. This is ABC News.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. But one thing is for sure, whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Today we're going to see temperatures in the low to mid 60s with a lot of sunshine around. Those winds switching directions for us, all thanks to a high pressure system we have in place, and that is going to prompt a big warm up into our area. We do have temperatures tonight falling into the low to mid 40s with highs in the upper 60s and mid 70s for tomorrow. Our next front will arrive late Thursday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
35 degrees under clear skies, mostly clear skies today. We've got a beautiful day in the neighborhood all day long today. And tonight dropping back to 43. Warmer than we were right now when we started out this morning. So that's the kind of day we like to have in the fall of the year. It's 8:05, and we have Andrew Tisdale in the Blue Room, and we'll talk with him in just a moment.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID Rapid-19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recall devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines, and November is Diabetes Month. Get 10% off diabetic socks for the month of November at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
8:07, it's time now to listen to our friend Edward Tisdale, the financial advisor with Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and he's here in living color today, live in the Blue Room. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Hope you are.
I'm better now.
You like this cool weather in the mornings?
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Yeah.
It's much better than 98, 99 degrees.
Oh, yes. I agree with you there. I agree with you.
But the sun's out either way.
Well, it's going to rain maybe Thursday night, maybe, but the weekend's going to be beautiful again. I like it. I like to walk in the leaves this time of year.
Hear it crunching under your feet.
Crunching my feet. Yep, sure do. A lot of good things to be thankful for.
It is getting close to that, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Yep. But that's not just one day, though. You know, Thanksgiving should be, well, I try to be every day.
I try to be every day.
Try to be every day.
But it's nice to have one day set aside when the whole nation thinks about it.
That is right. Just to remind us. Just to remind us.
What you got on your mind today?
Let's talk a little bit about Social Security and what kind of options that you have. We all know that Social Security can be started at 62. But you also, if you wait, your monthly payout is going to be higher. And also something to factor in is your spouse. If you've been married over 10 years and you're still with them, or even if you're not, there could be a way to factor in a higher payout that way. So how should you look at it? And when you do look at it, how do you figure out, okay, this is right for me? Because in all realness, it don't work the same for everybody because everybody's situations are different. But here's a really quick idea. Number one is if I'm going to make $1,000 a month on Social Security, my spouse, when I start drawing, is entitled to half of mine, $500, or their full benefit. So if my Social Security is $1,000 at 62, and my wife at 62 could draw $300 a month, it would be more beneficial for us to do the $500. But if my wife's full draw out is also $1,000, of course, then my benefit, the best benefit, would be $1,000 each. What about, why should I start at 62 and not 65 or 67 or even 70 when my highest payout is? Here's the best way to look at that. How much are you going to draw throughout your lifetime? If your family history is people living to be 100 years old, it may be okay if you wait a little bit. But if your family history is 70, 72 years old, well, why would I wait till 70 to draw? Take what you think. We know tomorrow. We just don't know what tomorrow brings. We know that, but we can be prepared. So, if I'm going to draw my Social Security at $1,000 a month at 62, instead of waiting until I'm 67, that's 5 years, to draw $1,500 a month, and I'm just using easy numbers, I'm going to draw $12,000 a year for 12 years. That's $60,000 that I'm going to get if I start at 62. Now, how long is $1,500 a month? That's $18,000 a year. Going to take me to get that $60,000 back. That's a formula to think about. Okay, should I draw or should I not? Yes, I know when I look at it from the monthly standpoint, it looks great. Okay, if I just wait, I'll get $500 extra a month. But just remember, how much am I leaving on the table before I do that? And it's specifically if I'm only going to, family history shows that 75 is about the max. But then again, what if I'm going to leave to 100 and I'm going to draw $18,000 a year for almost 40 years? Now there's a different story. If you'd like to come in, sit down, talk this out, let me show you some numbers, I'd be happy to, or go to someone you trust, because this is a big, once you start, I've seen many people start, they're 62 and they decide it didn't work out and they want to go back to work. Well, guess what? They're not going to get a raise. Once you start, it's locked in. They can say, we'll stop sending you the check, but we're not going to give you a raise.
That's very interesting. And folks are, I'm sure, a lot of elderly folks are concerned about that, people getting ready to retire, so I'm glad you brought that up. And you can reach Andrew at Edward Jones' office there at 173 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. That phone number is 287-9197, and he'd be glad to answer any questions I'm sure that you have about that particular thing.
And just remember, Social Security, we hear it all the time that it's running out, it's running out, it's running out. Here is the real statistics. There is a trust that the Social Security has been coming out of, and in about 2031, that trust will be emptied. If nothing changes, we all will get a 25% decrease of Social Security. That's statistically. Now, let's look at it from a standpoint of politics. If I am a senator or I'm a president and I have to cut your Social Security, do you think you're going to vote for me again? So I do believe there's going to be changes. What kind of changes, we don't know. We have to see that. But I don't believe Social Security is in danger. But I do believe that there's going to have to be changes.
They'll find a way.
They will find a way. Yeah. For people my age, it may mean that I can't draw at 62, or if I do, it'll be less. But, everybody that's drawing Social Security right now, you're okay.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I also want to commend you for letting your slot last week go to the veterans and how important veterans was, and that was a good program last week. Wreaths across America for the veterans.
Well, you know what? If we didn't have veterans, I wouldn't be here right now being able to talk to you. Yeah. We wouldn't have Social Security.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to drive back and forth the roads, go to work, go to the store. Veterans, we appreciate you.
We take that for granted many times.
Yeah. If just a wreath will help, that's all.
Yeah. Again, let me give you Andrew's phone number. It's 287-9197. You can reach him out at the Food Lion Shopping Center there at Edward Jones' office, 173 Railroad Avenue. And I wish you a great week.
It's even wonderful now.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
See you.
And I'll be back in just a moment with some news from here and there. There is a lot of misleading information about Medicaid eligibility. The Arledge Law Firm would like for you to know the truth. For instance, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your home. That's not true. Another one is, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. Again, not true. And this big one, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. Not true, not true, not true. Call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm and get free consultation and learn the truth. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify for nursing home care and not lose everything you own. It's worth a call to Arledge Law Firm at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherford. Now some news from here and there as we scan other local and regional papers. The Daily Courier is reporting that 4 people were critically injured early Sunday morning in a single car crash that was fleeing law enforcement at an estimated speed of 100 miles per hour. 3 of the 4 were ejected from the wreckage, 2 needing to be airlifted to Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. The other 2 occupants were taken to the hospital by ambulance, according to Trooper Joshua Henderson of the Highway Patrol. The 5 a.m. crash on Poors Ford Road near Oakland Road involved a 2006 Chevrolet Impala. The driver of the car ran off the roadway and struck a utility pole, according to the trooper. On Monday, Trooper Henderson declined to identify the driver and the other wreck victims, all reportedly from Shelby, pending further investigation. Prior to the crash, the driver of the Impala refused to heed a traffic stop in Polk County, instead opting to flee authorities, which led to a high-speed chase. The chase ended when the car crashed in Rutherford County. Will they never learn? Will they never learn? Meanwhile, the Courier has also reported that Adam and Pamela Crumpton opening up a new firing range. Off the X Training Solutions is the name of their business, which began in July on a 50-acre farm in southern Rutherford County. Adam is originally from Alabama, and his wife hails from New York. Adam served in the U.S. Army for 11 years, stationed at Fort Bragg. After the two were married, they decided they wanted to live in western North Carolina, so they purchased property at 696 Jonas Road, Rutherford. Both have part-time jobs, but most of their energy is focused on their farm and the new business. So the people in these classes come from throughout the region, they say. Many are from Rutherford County, but people also come from Charlotte and Nashville. We try to make our classes as affordable as possible. They're after gun safety. Well, someone shared this with me the other week. I haven't not had a chance to get to it to you yet, but I thought he's very well done. The article was in the Smoky Mountain Times. Letter to the editor from Shirley Klontz, and she is from Charlotte, North Carolina. If I maybe just sort of scan a little bit there, she says they are swarming all over America. Not the viruses causing the COVID-19 pandemic, but dangerous little left-wing thugs looking to do mischief, demanding the removal of statues and monuments for the names of streets and ball teams be changed because they are offended, and their leaders listen and bow to their wishes. This is Shirley Klontz writing. Their worrisome rhetoric has invaded our schools, indoctrinated our children to be ashamed to be an American, and teaching them that America is a racist nation, telling them with self-loathing. These liberals are not at all liberal and use intimidation and outright attack anyone with an opposing view, protesting, locking off streets, and inciting riots. Women, some of them mothers, march for the right to murder unborn babies. Loud mischief makers, some with fame and celebrity, promote interracial stress and create an atmosphere of hate. Sports figures kneel when our anthem is played, showing utter disrespect for their country. The troublesome shout loudly, tax the rich, while hordes of invaders cross our borders without resistance, and these same rebel-rousers want to give them amnesty with no vetting. These same insular thinkers generate intolerance for religion, attacking Christians, Jewish, Muslim, and other sects. They call for defunding police and victimizing officers amid a rising serious crime rate, setting a hateful precedent. A past president turned his back, refusing to salute the flag of the nation who elected him to office. Our legislature in seats of power, working not for the nation but for themselves, are absolutely determined to pass an ailing president's pipe dream, creating an untenable national debt and causing trickle-down poverty. Now, there's a movement to allow the government to monitor the bank accounts of the citizenry. There's an apocalyptic horseman riding across the land, destroying America's freedoms and liberties as he goes, and his name is socialism. That's Shirley Klontz out of Charlotte, an opinion page at the Smoky Mountain Times back in October. I thought she well written, and I appreciate my friend bringing that by to me to share with you. 20 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, the show's reports come.
You shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
Sheriff Francis was with us earlier, and we recorded the sheriff's report, and here it is.
Among those arrested, Travis Dale Proctor, 40-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Brandon Scott Hutchins, 39-year-old male of Ruston, was charged with maintaining a place for controlled substance, trafficking meth, and reckless driving. He received a $250,000 bond after deputies located 1 pound, 19 ounces of meth after they were involved in a short case with him yesterday, and he has been convicted of trafficking twice before. Also arrested was Daniel Roy Leffler, 52-year-old male of Ruston, charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Cherokee Julie McCauley, 29-year-old female of Forest City, was charged to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Nathan Artuga Martinez, 26-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $2,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny on US 64. There was a propane tank that was 4 foot by 8 inches, valued at $400, gray in color, containing 100 pounds of propane that was taken. We also had a larceny on Bayville Road there in Forest City. There was 4 firearms, 1 pistol and 3 rifles, total value of $900 that was taken. We had a larceny of a motor vehicle, Newton Cole Road. It was a 2012 Ford Fusion, silver in color. This apparently had been missing since 11/13, was reported yesterday, and last night, after having entered NCIC, was located in Clinton, Mississippi. I believe that a worker that was assisting someone hired for the victim's residence doing some work there at the house possibly has taken this vehicle, but it was located in Clinton, Mississippi last night. We received word from investigators there. Jim, that's what we had to report.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM, and now on FM at 100.9 FM.
Sports update coming up here in just a few moments. Let me remind you, though, that your opportunity to brighten things up this year is here. The 2021 Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce raffle tickets are now available. Only 500 tickets will be sold altogether, and you could win $8,000, $1,500, or $500. 3 winners, and tickets are available now at the Chamber office, Main Street, Rutherford. We have them right here at WCAB. I'll be off the air this morning at 9:30. If you want to stop by and pick up your tickets, I've got some. Chamber members throughout the Fruited Plain, they also have them. The drawing is going to be held December the 17th, live here on WCAB at 100.9 FM and 590 AM at 8:10 in the morning. We'll also live stream that on Facebook as well as on our web page as well. Be a part of supporting the Chamber. This is a big fundraiser for the Chamber to keep it supported. With your purchase of the reverse raffle ticket, you can help in that. Tickets are $50, and chances of winning $8,000, $1,500, or $500 are phenomenal. The $50 for 1 ticket, and I'll sell you 2 for $100. Now, how fun is that? Have some fun. Buy a ticket and listen for the winning number. December the 17th at 8:10, and you could possibly be the winner. Somebody is going to be. And we've sold a lot of tickets, and I hope you don't get left out. If you want a ticket, please sure to do that pretty soon because they are going pretty fast. And don't forget the Ellenboro Fiddlers and Bluegrass Convention coming up on Saturday at Ellenboro School, November the 20th at 6 o'clock. Some of the finest bluegrass music you could possibly want to hear. Musicians compete for prize money. The host band is New Ground Riders, and the first place band wins $400, second place $200, and third place $100. Prize money awarded for first, second, and third place instrument and vocal, and trophies given to the best in several categories. It just comes down to some of the finest picking and grinning in these parts, and it's all right here, our own county. The proceeds benefit Ellenboro Elementary School. A great deal for the evening, $10 for adults, kids 10 and under free. It's happening at Ellenboro School Gymtorium, 813 Piney Mountain Church Road, Ellenboro, Saturday night, 6 o'clock. Sports update is next.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The San Francisco 49ers did something on Monday Night Football they've not done in over a year. Win a game at home. Jimmy Garoppolo threw 2 touchdowns, and Jimmy Ward returned one of his 2 first-quarter picks for a score as the Niners beat the Rams 31-10 last night. Rams QB Matthew Stafford says they didn't play enough to beat the Niners.
Got to go execute. We didn't do it on offense and didn't help our defense out early, and then really had some chances, in the third quarter to kind of climb back in it and didn't get it done. So that's what it comes down to.
In fact, the Rams not playing well enough to beat the Niners is a trend. Tight end George Kittle says beating the Rams for the 5th straight time last night shows they come prepared to play them.
I think we're one of the only teams that have ever beaten the Rams back-to-back times, and the fact that we've done it 5 in a row, since McVay's been there, it's pretty awesome. I think our coaches always do a great job of game planning them. But we just try to be as physical as we possibly can be, and that works pretty well for us.
Odell Beckham Jr. was a non-factor in making his L.A. debut. After signing last week, he only had 2 catches for 18 yards. Cam Newton provided a spark for the Carolina Panthers and proved he can come off the bench to provide a jolt, certain goal line and short yardage packages. Now it's become a matter of whether he can be as productive as an every down player. Coach Matt Rule yesterday not officially buckling down and saying Newton is the starter, but it sounds like he wants to lean that direction.
I think what we're going to do, we'll give Cam most of the reps this week. PJ will get reps, obviously. We'll give Cam most of the reps and try to get him as brought up to speed as possible. I thought he did a great job last week, having 10 plays that he was kind of ready for, 10 to 15. We'll start getting him ready, and if he's ready to start, great. And if he's not quite ready yet to do everything, then, obviously PJ's available. It's kind of that plan right now.
It's going to be a double homecoming this week. Now with Cam back, the Panthers are home on Sunday, and they will face former coach Ron Rivera when the Washington football team comes to town. This is NCN Sports.
With the new law, more people qualify for financial assistance at healthcare.gov. Real customers like Taylor.
I wish people knew how easy it was to get health coverage. This new law has made it so affordable. I'm only paying $52 a month, but there are quality plans for even less.
New law, lower prices, more people qualify. Enroll by December 15th at healthcare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you or someone you know has been the victim of a crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Services is here to provide support. The office provides a range of free, confidential services to help you regain yourself, receive compensation for damages incurred, protect yourself and your family, and move beyond the stigma of being victimized. Visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
Breaking news coming in this morning. Justin Fuente is out as Virginia Tech's head coach. He's been fired, the school announced this morning. Fuente brought in 2015, but has struggled to maintain a level of success. The Hokies just 5-5 this year. North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell dealing with an upper body injury that could sideline him for what Coach Mack Brown says will be his final home game this weekend against Wofford. Howell's never missed a college game. He's considered day-to-day with an injury to his non-throwing side after last week's overtime loss at Pittsburgh. Howell is expected to be ready for the regular season finale the day after Thanksgiving at number 25 NC State. And on the ice, one team will be off of it. The Ottawa Senators are postponing at least their next 3 games because of a COVID-19 outbreak within the team. It's the first time this year that any team in any sport has had to postpone games because of COVID issues. Josh and Zach, NCN Sports.
Today we're going to see temperatures in the low to mid 60s with a lot of sunshine around. Those winds switching directions for us, all thanks to a high pressure system we have in place, and that is going to prompt a big warm up into our area. We do have temperatures tonight falling into the low to mid 40s with highs in the upper 60s and mid 70s for tomorrow. Our next front will arrive late Thursday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And right now we have 38 degrees, sunny skies. It's going to be another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we hope you can get out and enjoy that as much as possible. Getting up about 66 for a daytime high, dropping back to 43. A little warmer tonight than it has been this morning so far. Now, the only rain I see coming looks like maybe some scattered showers on Thursday and Thursday night, but clearing out of here for the weekend. Another beautiful weekend in the Carolinas. And that's all, it's working its way toward a full moon here in a few days, so we have that Carolina moon shining over us. It's 8:30. I have a special guest in the studio with me right now. His name, he's no stranger to us. He's been with us before, and you know him very well. He's Pastor Chris Fox of Bethany Baptist Church, and he's here this morning to talk about an event. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good morning, Jim. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you for letting me be on.
With us today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is. Starting to feel like a little bit of winter and fall mixed in.
It sure is.
Yeah.
You got a big event coming up. Share with our audience a little bit about that.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me be here this morning. We are going to have an event this coming Sunday, November 21st, 6 o'clock p.m. It's going to be held at Crestview Baptist Church. And it's really born out of a desire for many pastors, church leaders, and Christians in our county to come together for prayer, a community of prayer, because we know that the nation's not where it needs to be spiritually, and there's just a lot of moral decline. And so our heart is not to complain about the culture as much as it is about to just to come together for prayer. So it's spirit of unity, a spirit of worship, and just a spirit of humility towards our God to see a change in our county and beyond.
Is it an interdenominational meeting?
Oh, yes. Even though Crestview is holding it, the purpose really is because Crestview can seat about 900 max. It can max out about that many, so we want it to be a place where we could have several hundred, hopefully. But I've been in contact with several pastors that are different denominations, Methodist, Pentecostal, you name it. Some Presbyterian, Lutheran in there too. So, and so we want to extend that invitation to everyone because really, it's about Christ, and I think if we're all in the same, as far as that same mind in terms of who Jesus is, then that's all the other stuff's just secondary. Yeah.
If Christians can't get together, regardless of the denominational flavor, if they can't get together and pray, then there's something wrong with that.
That's
picture.
right, and we've got to be careful that we're not part of the problem, right?
Exactly
So
right.
that's part of it. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing. I know you have been part of the National Day of Prayer on many occasions, many years, and it's important that people, not only denominations, Baptists, Methodists, whoever they are, come together and unite in one prayer, one thought.
Yeah. We were thinking, just several pastors have been praying for years, and I've been here about 11 years. But even before I got here, there were several pastors, Baptist, Nazarene, non-denominational churches. They've been praying for a long time, and I think there's a sincerity there and just an honest. It's not about competing with one another. It's not about how many members you've got. I think there's a genuine desire across the page just to really be together and we want to see people who don't know Christ, who are far from Jesus, to come to know Him and to see that. So we need both revival of the church, but also an awakening for those that don't know the Lord. And people won't know the Lord until they see the church acting like we should. So I agree with you. Yeah.
Will there be special music that night?
Yeah, there's going to be some special music. I think Crestview going to provide some of that, and then the whole sort of atmosphere will be, of course, prayerful, but also worshipful. And there'll be some time, I think, for both individual time of prayer, but there'll also be corporate prayer. And, of course, we want to continue to be safe, and so we'll ask people if they want to wear masks, they can do that. That's optional. But there's going to be plenty of space to, sort of spread out, too.
Big church.
Yeah. So I think, and it'll also, for those that can't come or feel like they can't quite get into the sanctuary yet or don't want to, it will be on Facebook. So we want people to be present, of course. Don't make that an excuse not to be there. But if you can't be there, then Crestview Baptist Church will have it, and I'll put it on mine as well, Christopher Fox on Facebook. So we just want to see people come together for a real time of prayer.
So are you encouraging churches to maybe move their services over to Crestview on Sunday night for this occasion?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. And of course, we've not been having our evening services, and I know some churches have discontinued for a little while, but some are back in their services now. And I think this will be an opportunity just to, again, just come over for a little bit. It's a one time, not one time thing. We're going to do this a few more times, but the sense really got. Let me tell you sort of where this came from. About 2 months ago, we were at a pastors' conference, and Dr. Chris Schofield, who we have on tap to be there, was at our pastors' conference, and he spoke a great message out of the book of Joel, speaking about how locusts had come and devoured the land, and they were just in a place of just spiritual hopelessness, and of course it was judgment of God on them. And so out of all that, we just got to thinking about how Joel calls the people together. It's called a solemn or a sacred assembly, where young and old, men and women, children come together for the purpose of just humbling themselves before God and really seeking Him and praying towards repentance, but also for the people that need the Lord.
We can talk about issues and talk about problems we're facing in America right now, but if we never go to the main source, the man who can solve it all, then we're just sort of
That's right. Yeah.
griping and complaining.
Yeah. It's kind of like moving the chairs on the Titanic. It's going to go down, but it ain't going to help just to switch the chairs around. You've got to do something drastic, and I think we're living in a time of desperation and desperate times. I've heard this said before, desperate times calls for desperate measures, and I think our measures are to be in that desperation. We're very complacent in our country, I think, very apathetic, and we need to get to that place where, it could get worse. It may get worse before it gets better, but we're going to keep praying and not letting up. Yeah.
Well, there have been a lot of good things developed since your church and others in your church have started these prayer meetings various times throughout the year.
Right.
And there have been a lot of good things happen from those prayer meetings, and I'm sure it's going to continue.
Yeah, so there's been many benefits. I've heard people say, we've started a prayer ministry now, where we're meeting on Wednesdays and Tuesdays now. We had never had before, and so I think the catalyst has been started, but we just you can't let up. You can't just stop. You got to keep going. Yeah. So
I think I feel comfortable in saying this. The folks who want to come to this, if you believe in prayer, want to be among folks who do believe in prayer, come to this. They're not going to sign you up for any kind of denomination, not going to sign you up for any kind of church service. It's just a friends and family and neighbors getting together and praying.
That's right. There is no strings, no conditions, nothing. We just really believe it's time. We've got to. If we believe the same thing about Jesus and about the Word of God, then there's no reason why we can't be together and should. And I think a lot of people have been wanting this, but time and distractions have always gotten in the way, and it's but we got to prioritize it.
Yeah, COVID's been a hindrance for us too, for many reasons.
Right.
That's Sunday night, the 21st.
That's right. Yep.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock p.m. Yeah.
At Crestview Baptist Church.
Crestview Baptist Church.
That's a great way to lead into Thanksgiving.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Chris Fox, my guest this morning, he's Pastor Bethan. He's leading this organization where they believe in prayer and believe in it very strongly, and they don't just believe in it, they put legs to it. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Amen. Thank you for letting me be here this morning.
Happy to have you anytime.
Thank you.
And I'll be back in just a moment with some news from here and there.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117. The Medicine Box in Rutherfordton now has the flu shots available. No appointment is needed. And they also have the COVID and booster shots available. Appointment is preferred.
.37, let's look at some stories from here and there. And some of those stories are interesting as we pull together. Let me remind you also that 9:05 this morning, My Great America with Jim and Butch here. A lengthy analysis of Kamala Harris's performance as vice president, the first minority woman, VP, for the leftist CNN concludes she's crashing. Now, when the leftist media like CNN and MSNBC begin to complain about their own people, then you know it's pretty serious. Biden aides have largely thrown up their hands, deciding there simply isn't time to deal with her. CNN interviewed several dozen sources and explained that exasperation and dysfunction are playing prominent roles in the Biden White House when it comes to the nation's second in command. Where's she been? They asking. What's she done? They're asking. When is she coming? They're asking. CNN warns that key West Wing aides, that's the White House up there, key West Wing aides already have largely thrown up their hands at Vice President Kamala Harris and her staff, deciding there simply isn't time to deal with them right now. And CNN explains Harris is frustrated that she's been given a number of dead-end assignments that can only undercut her prospects for a political future. The analysis said, quote, interviews with nearly 36 former and current Harris aides, administration officials, Democratic operatives, donors, and outside advisors who spoke extensively to CNN reveals a complex reality inside the White House. Many in the vice president's circle fume that she's not being adequately prepared or positioned and instead is being sidelined. Well, we knew going into it she wasn't prepared for a job like this. She's way in over her head, folks. The vice president herself has told several confidants she feels constrained in what she's able to do politically. And those around her remain wary of even hinting at future political ambitions, with Biden's team highly attuned to signs of disloyalty, particularly from the vice president. There's even some talk that the president or his folks who are guiding the president thinking about possibly appointing her, if opportunity arises, appointing her to a judgeship to get her out of the way. Democrats who may want a challenge for the party's next presidential nomination have started acknowledging that they are trying to figure out how to quietly lay the groundwork to run if and when Harris falters, and they think she might. CNN documented that the sources speaking on condition of anonymity to discuss the situation more frankly tells one narrative. Harris's staff has repeatedly failed her and left her exposed, and family members have often had an informal say within her office. In fact, WorldNet Daily reported already last summer multiple allegations had surfaced that her office staffers claimed that they are treated poorly and forced to do things they don't want to do. Her supporters see no coherent public sense of what she's done or been trying to do as vice president. And the dissatisfaction goes both ways. Apparently, a CNN said there's rumor that Biden will replace her by nominating her to the Supreme Court at some point. Well, I don't know if that's going to open up or not. If that doesn't open up, they're stuck with her, I guess, unless they decide there's something else they want to do with her. But she obviously is not an asset to this struggling administration. The Freedom from Religion Foundation, you know who they are. They're the atheists. Freedom from Religion Foundation, FFRF, a hate group, if ever there was one, is demanding that the IRS investigate a San Antonio, Texas church where speakers and participants at a Reawaken America event chanted, "Let's go, Brandon." They called it a violation of the Johnson Amendment. These are atheists wanting something to be done about Pastor John Hagee's church in San Antonio, Texas. Pastor John Hagee is founder of Christians United for Israel. He is a leader among leaders in protecting the Judeo-Christian bedrock of America. Amazing videos of his Cornerstone Church worshipers break out in chant of "Let's go, Brandon." And as many of you know that story, and they were inside in worship, and the atheists claimed that they shouldn't do that. The co-president, Annie Laura Gaylor, the atheist, said they knew what they were doing, what they were saying, and knew it was nothing but a political statement. Tax exemptions are a serious public trust, a responsibility, and with that enormous benefit comes some responsibilities, including not engaging in partisan politics. No church has a right to a tax exemption. They have to follow the rules. Well, the event in question, which was held at Cornerstone Church, Pastor John Hagee's church, was organized by someone called Clay Clark as part of a Reawaken America tour that features Trump-verse luminaries General Mike Flynn, pillow salesman Mike Lindell, and others. And during the service, or during the event, it wasn't a Sunday morning worship service, but it was an event. Some of them broke out in "Let's go, Brandon, let's go, Brandon, let's go, Brandon." And some folks, they just can't take it. And I found out the leftists, the atheists, just can't take those kind of things. They just get sold up and they get mad and accuse people of things and never take any responsibility. I think I mentioned to you folks before, and I'm as honest and fair and square above board as I can possibly be with you. I never try to slide anything behind you that you don't know about. And I've been accused of being partially responsible for so many folks in this county dying with COVID. Now, I never knew I had that kind of power, but there's someone out there in radio land, as they say, said I should be held responsible for something. Not because I said you shouldn't take the vax, not because I said you should. I just said you have the right to make your choice and make that decision, and the government shouldn't be infringing on our right to make those choices. And so, therefore, they accuse me of being partly responsible for many deaths across the county. Well, I don't think so. Well, a Canadian atheist named Scott was once on a pointed mission to debunk his father's Christian faith, so he decided to take strategic steps to expose the purported error of his dad's way. His dad was a Christian, and Scott wasn't and didn't believe in it. He didn't like his dad believing in it. So he was going to debunk it all. So he began to study. He downloaded the YouVersion Bible app in an effort to refute his father, who was a Christian. YouVersion creator Bobby Grunewald told FaithWire he wanted to basically say, look, I read the Bible and I'm going to show you why what you believe is wrong. But something unexpected unfolded when he did that. Scott started to see the Bible in an entirely new light. It happens. You know what? It happens. Grunewald said he began to see God's voice in Scripture. He's an atheist now, keeps it in mind. He's trying to debunk his father's Christianity. But he started reading the Bible, and God got a hold of him, apparently. Rather than using verses to disprove his father's faith, the man found himself drawn in by what he was reading. Before long, Scott became a believer. God literally used him reading the Bible app in an effort to try and disprove his father's religion to lead him into a relationship with Jesus. Grunwald said, "It just shows the transformational power of Scripture." Amazing story there, where you can't go up against those kind of things. 100% something God does. That's just one of the many stories Grunwald and his team have heard over the years from millions of people around the globe. This week, the YouVersion team is celebrating a remarkable milestone. More than 500 million people have downloaded the Bible app. We just really feel blessed to be a part of this. It's not something we would be able to do on our own. Grunwald also spoke about one of the primary narratives driving much of the faith debate today in America, the claim that biblical faith is dying or heading toward the extinction of sorts. His team is seeing quite the opposite: radical growth and interest in the Scriptures. Bible reading is up 21% in 2021 compared to 2020, and up 56% when compared to 2019. It's a trend that shows no sign of slowing. He says the Bible is alive. We see people turning to this word in huge numbers. He said, specifically noting the increase YouVersion has seen throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. People were turning to the Bible during this time of uncertainty. The popular Bible app doesn't only provide Scripture. Users are also able to dive into Bible reading plans, connect with friends and loved ones using YouTube versions, and engage in other meaningful ways. Grunwald believed too many people today are too focused on the negative. I agree with him. Too many people focused on the negative. He says, "I think people just like to talk about negative things, and they're not always based in reality. We've seen a reality that's completely different. When people say people don't read the Bible anymore, it's just simply not true." Grunwald added, "We have generations of people who are really excited about the Bible." And he is excited about how many people are, I don't know how to tell you to download that YouVersion. I guess just search it on Google, YouVersion of the Bible. You want to download that, that's certainly, but when a popular atheist tries to debunk his dad's Christian faith and he becomes a believer himself, there's something powerful about what's taking place. I'd say it'd be worth looking into, wouldn't you? 8:48 here on this terrific Tuesday morning. I'll be back in just a moment. It's time to satisfy that sweet tooth.
America's Fudge Shop in downtown Forest City has roasted cinnamon glazed nuts. Your choice of almond, cashews, or pecans, $5 a cone, or buy 3 for $12. Available every day along with 24 different flavors of delicious fudge. Stop in and sample your favorite. They'll be open Thanksgiving night and they'll have special holiday hours. Need fudge shipped? Well, let America's Fudge handle this for you. Wouldn't it be something just to receive a delicious box of fudge from America's Fudge Shop? Follow them on Facebook or call 447-2041. The holidays are fast approaching, and now's the perfect time to visit a new business, Different Times Mercantile. Owners Sheila and BC Deck offer new, old, and a little in-between merchandise. The store is full of antiques, collectibles, brand new clothing fashions, glassware, framed art, home decor, wreaths, holiday and seasonal, unique gifts, and jewelry. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sundays, 1 to 5. Stop into Different Times Mercantile, 548 South Main Street in Rutherford. Find your timeless treasures only at Different Times Mercantile.
Love beautiful days like this in the neighborhood. I'm glad you're part of it. I just thank you for letting me wake you up in the mornings. And if you overslept this morning, you might have missed the first hour, but we do 3 hours every morning, 6 until 7. It's Southern gospel music, some of the best, and then 7 to 8 we call around the county to find out where news is located and what's it all about. And then third hour we have a chance to interview guests and talk about some things that I want you to know more about. And so we try to do that 3 hours every day. And then this morning, after this, 9:05, is My Great America with Jim and Butch. One other quick story, then I'm going to take a little break here and entertain you with some guitar music. But it's true, not kidding, the U.S. cut a stimulus check to George Soros and other billionaires. Handouts going to people who neither need nor deserve it. Prominent hedge fund manager and liberal philanthropist George Soros is worth $8.6 billion and isn't exactly hard up for cash, would you think? Yet both he and his son Robert received stimulus checks from the CARES Act. The $1,200 checks went to single taxpayers who reported $75,000 a year or less in income on their previous tax return, while married couples got $2,400 if they reported income of less than $150,000. The Soros duo were among 270 taxpayers, 18 billionaires, and some 250 other ultra-wealthy people whose previous tax returns collectively disclosed $5.7 billion in income, but who were able to deploy deductions at such a massive scale that they qualified for stimulus checks. All of the millionaires and billionaires listed negative net incomes on tax returns, the investigative news outlet said in a recent report. Assuming each of the 270 received a $1,200 check, that means $324,000 worth of checks were cut. While both Soros and his son did return the checks, the receipt of them in the first place shows that the method Congress used to automatically send stimulus checks to needy Americans doesn't work. Terrence Pagula, who is worth $5.7 billion and owns the NFL's Buffalo Bills and the NHL's Buffalo Sabres, received a stimulus check. Also, he didn't need it. So there you go, folks. They really know what they're doing up there, don't they? Well, let's see. I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to go on and on. I'm going to just sort of take a little break, go wet my whistle, and get ready for my Great America. Butch is in the building, folks. And we'll get started here in just a few moments. Meanwhile, let's enjoy this.
More states are advising even those not yet eligible for a COVID booster shot to get one. Infections are up 20% from late October. ABC's Trevor Ault with more on the authorizations that state like New York, New Jersey, and Colorado are now giving.
The decisions come in the midst of some already alarming numbers. 17 states seeing hospitalizations climb 10% or more in the past week. Crowded travel and indoor gatherings could further fan the flames in the weeks ahead, though Dr. Anthony Fauci says vaccinated families can celebrate safely.
Pfizer has also requested authorization for its booster for everyone. American journalist Danny Fenster has arrived back in the U.S. after being detained for nearly 6 months in a Myanmar jail. He had been sentenced to 11 years of hard labor, but his release was negotiated by former U.S. diplomat Bill Richardson. A new ABC News Washington Post poll on how Americans feel about legal abortion.
An overwhelming number of Americans, 60%, say they want the Supreme Court to keep the Roe v. Wade decision that legalized abortion just the way it is. A significant minority, 27%, want it overturned. It's nearly the same result when it comes to some states making it harder to get an abortion. And 75% of Americans surveyed say an abortion decision should be between a woman and her physician.
ABC's Andy Field. Anger at Russia after a missile test obliterated one of its satellites, sending 1,500 pieces of debris into space.
Some of that debris coming dangerously close to the International Space Station, which is currently carrying 4 U.S. astronauts. The crew quickly putting on their spacesuits and taking shelter in one of 2 spacecraft docked at the station, which can return them to Earth during an emergency.
ABC's Faith Abube. Clashes breaking out at the Belarus-Poland border. Migrants remain stuck there in camps in freezing weather. They're hoping to cross into Europe. You're listening to ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Testimony resumes this morning at the Georgia trial of 3 white men accused of killing a black jogger, Ahmaud Arbery. The judge rejecting requests for a mistrial from the defense lawyers who objected to Arbery's mother crying in court. Pfizer has reached a deal that will allow other companies to make its experimental pill that helps fight COVID infections. The move would allow it to be sold to lower income and developing countries. Back to court today for the former Prime Minister of Israel as his trial on corruption charges takes a big step forward. ABC's Jordana Miller has more from Jerusalem.
Benjamin Netanyahu making a rare appearance at his corruption trial here in Jerusalem's district court. That a day after bombshell media reports revealed prosecutors have received fresh evidence against the former prime minister regarding illicit gifts. Israeli media awash with pictures and a receipt of a $45,000 piece of jewelry Netanyahu allegedly asked his billionaire friends to buy his wife, Sarah. Netanyahu's legal team asking to delay the testimony of a key state witness so they can review the new evidence. The judges agreed, giving them 1 week. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
And if you need a little fashion to go with your video games, there's an Xbox waiting for you this holiday season. Microsoft and Gucci teaming up on a special Xbox Series X console. Only 100 are being made at a very Gucci price tag, $10,000. This is ABC News.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Today we're to see temperatures in the low to mid 60s with a lot of sunshine around. Those winds switching directions for us, all thanks to a high pressure system we have in place, and that is going to prompt a big warm up into our area. We do have temperatures tonight falling into the low to mid 40s with highs in the upper 60s and mid 70s for tomorrow. Our next front will arrive late Thursday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. It's a pleasure to see you again this morning.
It's great to see you, Jim. And
beautiful day.
It's a gorgeous day, and it's a little crisp in the air. And I really felt led this morning to wear a sweater.
Yeah, it looks good. I like that color.
You often wear sweaters, and today was a good day to do it. So I think this may be the first time in our over 120 episodes that we both worn sweaters together.
First time I've seen you in a sweater.
Well, there are a lot of first times for things. Yesterday I had an incredible time with my friend Pat Jobe. We're unlikely friends. We disagree on a lot of different things. But, Jim, he took me on a little tour that related to some of his history, personal history, in the county. And so we were at, I think it's Mount Hebron Methodist Church there, that's on Hudlow Road. And he took me back to show me some of the gravestones and other things that are indications of his family's history here in the county. And, he was telling me his family goes back 7 generations.
Wow.
And as he looked at different headstones, he was describing who different people were. And, he also reminded me that congregation is down to less than 20 people now. And so many churches, not just in our county, but around the country, that were old, iconic churches, have found themselves in a place of transition. But it was a reminder to me that our county is steeped in so much history. And, history requires a little bit of diligence on our part. I mean, it's not sound bites, and often the rich stories that come through only come about when you do some investigation. And so yesterday he took me on a little tour of a couple of different places, and one of the places just feels like a real treasure in our county, and I don't think a lot of people know about it. So I want to mention that real quickly.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so right there at Mount Vernon Baptist Church, that's also off Hudlow, correct? At Mount Vernon Baptist Church, and of course the Republican Party county meeting that we last had, there's a community house that's right there. He took me to the Mount Vernon Baptist Church graveyard, cemetery, and told me that I guess it was his grandmother who donated from his family, donated the property that the upper part of that cemetery has. And on that upper part of the cemetery, there is a plaque and a large column of rocks. And Jim, I was curious to know, what is that? And when I walked over, what I found was a plaque, and the plaque said, the Reverend R.L. Crawford Prayer and Meditation Garden. And what it said was R.L. Crawford erected this after one stone, one prayer at a time, in a wooded area near his home, 10 miles south, over a period of 50 years, from 1937 to 1987. It was moved to the present location in 1988. And apparently he was a minister. And when he would go anywhere, he would preach, and when he preached, he would pick up a stone from wherever it was that he was in that preaching engagement. And then out in the woods, not far from Poors Ford Road, where Freight Works currently is, and 74, he just put those in the woods. And when the highway was coming through and they purchased the homes all out there, they had to move. Those rocks were moved, and in 1988, there is a column that's about 6 feet tall, and it's huge. Jim, That's called a faux pas. I just knocked over all of your pens. We'll collect those later.
We'll get them later.
In any event, that they've erected this monument, like the Ebenezer stones that it talks about in the Old Testament, and each one of those stones represents a place that he went and shared the gospel. And it's right here in our county. It's in the upper part of the Mount Vernon Cemetery, and I just thought that was so powerful. It's a little treasure, a little piece of our county history.
I did not know that was there.
It's right here, and for you not to know that is really saying something. So if you're ever near Mount Vernon Baptist Church, it's right there. There's a little area where you can sit, and it's just powerful. It's stones of remembrance, as it talks about the Ebenezer stones in the Old Testament. I also learned that the writer, Jean Gordon, she used to be, I guess, the editor of the Daily Courier, right?
Yes.
That she's a granddaughter of his. And so there are just a lot of family interconnections that are here in our county, aren't there?
Great history right here in Rutherford County.
Yeah, and you know what? In the spirit of that, I was thinking about all the churches that are in our county. We've got a lot, and a lot of Baptist churches.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
Right, and there are 2 Baptist associations, right? I think there are 2 Baptist associations, Green River and then there's...
Oh, yeah. Green River and Sandy Run.
Okay, this is not a test, Jim.
Yeah, I thought you meant...
No, there are two Baptist associations that are here in the area. But I was also looking at Pleasant Hill Baptist Church, and that's where. Describe where that is for people.
I don't know. I've been there, but I can't decide which road that's on.
Well, I found myself wanting to know a little bit more about some of the other churches in the area, and what I found about Pleasant Hill Baptist Church is so interesting. They actually had a little history that was done on them, and the lead to the history was Judges 18:9. And in Judges 18:9 it says, "We have seen the land, and behold, it is very good, and are you still? Be not slothful to go, and to enter to possess the land." Here's a little history on where that church is that relates to our county history. The community where Pleasant Hill Baptist Church is located is a picturesque area situated between Mountain Creek and Broad River, southwest of Rutherfordton. Okay? The church is about 1 mile north of Highway 108, which follows closely the old trail, Jim, that was used by Indians traveling from the mountains to the lowlands. The region is rich in history and tradition. Several early historians have suggested that Hernando de Soto passed through the area along the Indian Trail via Hickory Nut Gap in 1540. Right there where the church is. By the 1760s, settlers had begun to develop farms on the rich, fertile bottomlands along the river. Now, while this land was not inhabited by the Indians, it was part of their important hunting grounds. Governor Tryon surveyed a line between Tryon Mountain and Warrior Mountain in what is now Polk County, toward Pinnacle Mountain to the north in what is now McDowell County. Now, this line, Jim, drawn in 1776, passing just west of the community and crossing Broad River above the mouth of Knob Creek, placed the settlement in Old Tryon County and on the western fringe of the frontier, separating the settlers from Cherokee lands. All of this right here in our county. Now, the earliest white pioneers to become established in the area were probably John Morris, David Miller, and William Twitty, followed shortly by James Gray. Now, Twitty's ford on Broad River was a major reason why the community was a common route of travel. According to Griffin's Essays of North Carolina History, John Morris had made improvements on 200 acres of land in the community before receiving a grant for it dated March 2nd, 1775. Now, Fort McFadden had been built on Miller Creek in 1769 as a stockade to protect the whites from the Indians. And after 1776, when General Gifford Rutherford led an expedition against the Cherokee, the Indians never again posed a major threat to the county. The community,
bless you.
Excuse me, the community became a part of the new county named for General Rutherford. Now, the community played another important part in history in 1780 when the Over Mountain men marched across Twitty's Ford and on to Green River, where they rested. It was there that Colonel Lacey returned to the troops and encouraged them to go direct to cow pens through sandy plains. As a result, the victory was won at Kings Mountain. All of that right there where that church area is.
beautiful. That's a great story to remember, and I think most folks don't remember that, or they hadn't studied that. It's not part of our studies in history that we go to. We should involve that.
Well, and it's one of the reasons why, Jim, I really appreciate talking to folks that have been in the county for a long time.
Yes.
Because they've got these stories, and it's one of the reasons I want to encourage you too. I remember sitting with my grandfather, Pop George Martin. He was the production control manager of the Schick Company. And he died about, 20 years ago in his late 80s. But to hear him tell the stories about General Schick and stories he had heard about General Schick, who started that razor company, I wouldn't trade those times with him for anything. And by the way, one of my earliest memories that I recall from being a young boy was every morning he'd be up early and he'd have his old weathered Bible out. You know, he had 11 children, 44 grandchildren. I'm the oldest of 44 grandchildren now that my sister died, 129 great-grandchildren and 31 great-greats. And I think of this man that was just real simple. He would come home, he would walk home from Schick in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, come home from Schick, and he'd have, at the same time, he was a very disciplined man, the production control manager. He could tell you how many paper clips were in his drawer or how many pencils. He used to tell me how long he thought it would take before his Ticonderoga number 2 pencil would wear down. I mean, he had there's probably some control things going on in him, but I love the history because we're a product of a history, Jim, and I love too the recognition that there's a spiritual heritage that all of us have, and we need to get a hold of that.
Absolutely, and it's good. I'm glad you're bringing that forward on this program because we're talking about My Great America, and Rutherford County, of course, is part of My Great America through the history of churches and folks who have built on the grounds with the battles as Rutherford came through here, and the over mountain victory riders come through here periodically, about once a year, I believe.
Right.
And do a symbol of that battle. So we got a great heritage right here, and it's interesting.
We really do, and it just takes some time and some effort to get to know it. And you know what? There's always the opportunity when we realize that God has a book and God has a plan for our life every day. This morning, Jim, I got up early, and as I got up, it was Jesus. What is your plan for my life today? Mm-hmm. Not what is Butch's plan. What is your plan for my life today? And I didn't realize that there was going to be a nice serendipity, and I had the chance to meet Chris Fox for the first time, the pastor there at Bethany Baptist Church, and we had the chance to have a conversation before he left, and we'll get a hold of maybe meeting with each other at some point. But, you know, to hear he's been a pastor there over at Bethany Baptist Church for 11 years, and that he's got a heart to have a broad community-wide effort to have a solemn and sacred assembly. You know, he made it a point to say we're living in desperate times, and prayer is the thing that's going to turn things around. And we just had a chance here earlier to talk about those promises in Joel 2, where it talks about, I'll take the years that the cankerworm has stolen. You know, God's got a promise there, but in Joel 2:25. But as my pastor made it clear to me, of course I go to Word of Faith Fellowship, that promise in Joel 2:25 is predicated on things that happen up around verse 13, where there's a turning of the heart and where there's true repentance that takes place. And the solution to our nation's crises and dilemmas is not going to be found in some brilliant piece of legislation. You know, it's going to be found when the heart of the nation finds a heart for Jesus again. And there are some folks that get very angry when I say that, because they'll say, well, are you trying to establish some kind of theocracy? You're trying to make sure everybody's a Christian? No, but we need to remember that the United States of America, this republic that was such an incredibly improbable dream on the hearts of people that were willing to put everything down on the line for it, wasn't built on great political science books. It wasn't built on brilliant people that were saying, let's come up and tinker with something that we can call America. No, it was built on God's Word. And you know what we're going to have? Jim, I used to be a bridge builder with incredibly disparate groups of folks. I was, but it wasn't really done by the Spirit of God, and I look back on it now with a sense of strong repentance in my heart, because I was trying to fit together by my own efforts groups of folks that fundamentally had a point of digression when it came to key things like, do you believe that God's word is infallible, it's true, it's unshakable, and a guide for life? Now, if you have disagreements about that, that's a pretty core disagreement. Do you believe that Jesus is the only Son of the living God, and that he is the only path to eternal life by being born again, as it's described in Scripture? If you disagree on that, it's hard. It's not. I'm not saying you can't find places of agreement, but certainly politics demands that. But those are core issues. Those aren't like opinions. Those are core issues that go to the very marrow of the bone of a person. So, God's still working on my heart. He's still working on my life. He's scraping a lot out that still needs to come out, so that the precious truth that is his truth can go in. And I'm not ashamed to confess that I'm a work in progress.
Well, we all are. And once we get established in our mind that we don't need any more correction, we don't need any more training, we don't need any more growth, then we're dead. We need to continue to know that we are imperfect, and we continue to grow and mature in our faith with the Lord, and do what he would have us do, other than I've got it made. Boy, I know everything there is to know about this thing. No, we got a lot to go.
Well, and it's one of the reasons why in our community of faith, we are anchored in God's Word, but we're anchored in the truth of John 5:30, where, to make it very clear, it says that Jesus could do nothing of his own accord. He had to hear from God, and then he would weigh and decide and then act. And if our only passion in life is to do God's will, then we can pray in faith and with authority, because we don't have an agenda, we don't have an opinion. If our cry every day is, Jesus, I just want to be a vessel to do your will today. And you know what? I lived for so many years, Jim, in a grandiose kind of world where everything was big, and it was big ministries and big initiatives and global things. And part of God's plan for reframing and changing me was to parachute me into a county, Rutherford County, with the strong direction of the living God. I've called you here so that your heart can be changed, so you can be about the business of doing my good work and my good will. And when we come to that place of surrender, it's a daily surrender, then we'll be equipped for these battles. If you go into cultural battles or political battles in your own strength, you're going to get beat up, you're going to get shot up, you're going to get discouraged, because you're not going empowered by what God has directed you to do. And so I've learned that the hard way. I've gone into battles that, in retrospect, they weren't God's proddings to go into that. It was either my own ego or my own sense of, I think I can help, or I can pick. We can't do anything with authority unless God's directed us to do it. So he's teaching me that.
Perhaps he's led you through all those things that you've experienced, all those lives that you touched, in another vantage point to get you where you are today. Without those experiences,
right,
you would not be able to build on the kind of thing.
Right.
He's brought me through this. Now I'm seeking.
Right, and it's why in Scripture it talks about turn and keep turning.
Yes.
Turn and keep turning. It's the daily being saved. It's the discipline of saying, I don't know, but God does. So God, today, teach me again. I've had conversations over the last year with people that go to the core and the quick of the question, is the Bible really something that's relevant to politics? Is it relevant to what we do day to day? And I was reminded again as I was reading again, Jim, about just the authority of the Bible and so many of our founding fathers. Listen to some of this. Henry Ward Beecher, of course, he was a clergyman and an abolitionist, said, the Word of God tends to make large-minded and noble-hearted men. Or Patrick Henry, who was that Revolutionary War leader and orator, who said the Bible is worth all the other books which have ever been printed. Or Helen Keller, You know, we all know her story. She was a writer, but also a social reformer who said, unless we form the habit of going to the Bible in bright moments as well as in trouble, we cannot fully respond to its consolations because we lack equilibrium between light and darkness. And how interesting for her to say that, living in the dark world of physically not having her sight. Or then you look at people like George Washington Carver, you know, the inventor, the horticulturalist, so regarded, African-American. The secret of my success, it's simple. It's found in the Bible. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Or Daniel Webster, the statesman, the lawyer, you know, the person that was so involved in our country in the early days, an orator. He said, if we abide by the principles taught in the Bible, our country will go on prospering and to prosper. But if we and our posterity neglect its instructions and authority, no man can tell how sudden a catastrophe may overwhelm us and bury all our glory in profound obscurity. And you look around us today, Jim, and you look at the dark stains of our choices as a nation. I was at a lunch yesterday with my friend and the local attorney, Mark Morris, and he was reminding in the lunch 2,400 plus babies are aborted every single day in this country. The cry of life in a blood-stained nation is not something insignificant to God. God doesn't just kind of wink and say, oh, well. No, actions have consequences. The whole of Scripture for people, communities, for churches, and for nations is filled with if-then. You know, blessings are predicated on obedience for a nation and for individuals. And as a country, Jim, I can now see, devoid of a lot of the scales that were there, that were really scales that were demonic in nature, that caused me. I'm not saying that I'm not making pronouncements for every Democrat in this country, but I'm telling you this: I was so blinded for so many years, and I still remember God apprehending my heart on the abortion issue and making it very clear that the blood and the cries of the 62 million plus fetuses aborted in this country are cementing curses on the nation, and it's only going to be a place where we come to understanding the poverty as a nation of our heart and the lack of commitment to obedience that has put us in the place that we're in. Anyone who asks the question, who's listening to this program, how did we get here? We got here because we tore loose the moorings from anchored truth in God's word and his plan for us, Jim. But there's hope. But hope only comes on our knees. It's not going to come with our bold pronouncements on Facebook. It's going to come with a repentant heart that says, please, God, turn things around and let it begin with me.
And as groups get together like they're doing Sunday night at this prayer vigil over at Crestview, when they're praying for America and praying for people who are involved in decision-making process like that, it proves that they believe in there is a higher power that beyond anything we can comprehend, anything we can say, that only God can control that. Unless we, like you say, get on our knees and pray, then we're going to continue to stumble in this mire of abortions and other sins that's bothering us.
I was so Chris Fox is his name,
yes, right?
I was touched by the humility that he had as we spoke before he left, and you know, it's the rallying cry. It should be the rallying cry in our county to get on our knees and to invoke God and say, please, God, we need you. Our personal plans, our human plans are not going to take us to a place of completion. And all we should ever want as a county, as a state, and as a nation, with all the temptations to get preoccupied with whatever your news feed is. You know, it's important to stay up to date with things, but you know, it's a whole lot more important to know what God's saying about the world than it is your favorite broadcaster or your favorite platform or your favorite blogger or whomever that might be. And so, Jim, I pray today that our hearts be resolute again, Jim's and Butch's, that this program is designed to bring light and life and encouragement, but more than anything, to bring truth, because it's only in the place of truth that we can find the freedom that we're looking for.
Well said. God bless America.
God bless America, Jim.
See you next time.
See you on Thursday.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.
Temperatures in the low to mid 60s with a lot of sunshine around. Those winds switching directions for us, all thanks to a high pressure system we have in place, and that is going to prompt a big warm up into our area. We do have temperatures tonight falling into the low to mid 40s with highs in the upper 60s and mid 70s for tomorrow. Our next front will arrive late Thursday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Now, the Business Edge Minute. Here's Mitch Graff.
Did you realize that if you were to read only 1 hour every day on a given subject, within 1 year, you would be one of the most knowledgeable experts in your